Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. G'day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, be the first one getting all the insight. Now today's topic, obviously one of the thing is that we will update some news coming from New South Wales state government, and also we're going to talk about is it good to choose to study and reside in regional Australia for 2023, obviously for the purpose of migration. Now, over the past 10 years, the government of Australia has dramatically shifted from a well-known skill migration towards pushing migrants towards regional area, not saying rural, but obviously the government of Australia is looking to get the population increase in the area, well, not just in Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne, but elsewhere. How has that policy and regulation been gone for the past 10 years? Is it successful? I think it did really have some impact, but still there are still a lot of issues required to be addressed, because once people migrated, they also return back for better job and services in these suburban cities. Why is that? Now, I don't think there's any issue in regards to visa system, but I think it's infrastructure. The infrastructure nationwide for Australia, obviously Australia is huge, it's the 6th largest continent in the world. How can they catch up with the infrastructure? For example, the high-speed rails connecting the 3 major cities, or the motorways, and how can they make more convenient for access into those regional area? Will actually, I think that will be the key to actually improve regional Australia, rather than pushing some migrant into regional area. This is based on my perspective and my survey and how I view things. I think numbers you will actually agree with me. But anyway, would 2023 be worthwhile to still go to regional area? If so, if not, let's have a look there. Now, before we go into that debate, I would like to update on the state government New South Wales, where you probably have already seen this. Now, me and numbers of the visa YouTubers back last year had talked about how ridiculous the state government New South Wales had done with their skill migration. Now, it looks like they finally come to senses. You know, you need to have some common sense. Now, they have updated this with their subclass 491. Well, basically the same how they're gonna do it with the 190. They abolished those crazy EOI numbers. It used to be what, 110 or 120. How on earth would people actually get in? If someone is so talented, why would they go regional New South Wales, isn't it? Okay, so what have they done? They basically remove all that, but everything else stays the same. Again, New South Wales has 12 or 14 regional development offices. They call the Regional Development Australia. I don't know why New South Wales call their regions Australia, because you know they are not the only state in Australia. But anyway, they call it anyway. We let's call it RDA. Okay, so they are 12 or 14 RDA offices. If you want, if you are there working in those regional areas of New South Wales, you could access to pathway 1 as long as you meet these requirements. So nominate your nominated occupation, same regional employer, deemed skill. That means you have skill assessment done. I don't know why they do this. Why don't they just say skill assessment, you know, positive skill assessment result? Anyway, you have a minimum wages, and stream B is basically To be eligible to apply this one to be skill and occupation within ENSCO. There's another list, be eligible for the visa, and there's really nothing else, and you just get to pathway 2 is the I'm not too sure how the difference. I think the difference is the occupation list, which we're gonna go there and have a look. So you got skill and you're in the list, eligible for visa, currently in New South Wales, submitting EOI. So what's different between stream B on that one and pathway 2? Look, I really cannot tell. Okay, so I think the differences is in the skill list. Now, again, I'm not gonna go through with a whole bunch of numbers of occupation, because there's gonna be hundreds of them. You might want to come in and have a look. So managerial roles, professionals. Let's check with ICT will be there. Now, unfortunately, IT is not in there. Oh wow, it's interesting. So they only IT in regional New South Wales. What about managers? They got ICT manager, but they don't need ICT professional for some reason. Communication, there's only a few. Clerical and sales work, so they need real estate agents. Interesting. All right, so pathway 2 again, the same pull down. There's a few there. There's definitely not all of them. And the professions, they will have ICT business analysis and ICT support manager. Do they have software engineer? I don't see there. Oh, there. Here we go. Software application programmers. So that's good. So if you're in ICT profession, make sure you go through pathway 2, which is this one here. Okay, and then community workers and clerical administrative workers there. So anyway, that's for the New South Wales. Some updates, which is basically they are dropping the original designed high scores of EOI and make it everything easy. Now, why do they do that? And I assume that most of the states and territory government will actually follow that. Why? Well, because the Minister of Home Affairs, if you have followed my channel long enough, a couple of days ago or last week, and the whole initiative of the government, of the federal government of Australia, is to actually promote permanent residency. They do not want to put another scheme that attract permanently temporary visa holders. They want to create permanent residence. Now it's good. I mean, the former government, they had an idea telling the population that having too many migrants will actually get the jobs away from Australia, but in fact, viruses has made everything much more transparent for us to actually see the fact and what is really going on of this world, and also in Australia. So it's not the migrant taking the jobs away, it's just not enough people working for such large continent of the world. It's one of the largest in the world, and we only got 26 million in Australia, so definitely need more people there. So creating a temporary visa holder is better or permanent. I mean, there is no really different. People still there working, but people with a permanent visa is more have a vision and set tone to actually invest their life, not just the money, invest their life in Australia. So as long as they're in Australia, taxes being paid, so economy will grow, and there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm good for this. Now, talking about the major thing that I called it in the topic of this video, whether or not 2023 you should really pick regional Australia as a study destination or to live or work with. Now, I think the answer is yes or no. There are some places, unless you really love it and enjoy, you may go. This will be Northern Territory and Tasmania. I don't proactively, if you follow my channel long enough, I don't proactively promote these two destinations. The reason is the size of economy is for Northern Territory and Tasmania. It's actually very small, so you may go there study, but you're probably finding a proper job. I mean, the job that matches your occupation qualification may be a problem. And in fact, it's a lot of problem there, because a lot of people has left a comment and over the years has said, and left the places. Now again, if they can improve the infrastructure or transportation for these two regions, obviously that will attract a lot more business over there. We gotta think, and we gotta put in our common sense and business sense. If you're a big, large corporation, if you want to set up a large company, you don't go to those places. Okay, so unless it's the conveniences of the travel and commute and infrastructure wise, then that's the only way to make a city blossom. Okay, anyway, so where are the destination for regional area that I really recommend? Now, one of it will be Perth, Western Australia. Obviously it's the capital of Western Australia. However, Western Australia, in compared to the eastern borders, is still a little bit less of what you can actually get there. However, if you are from the South Asia or Southeast Asia origin, Perth will be a very convenient city to be lived with, because you can commute back to your home country easily and in a very short time. Now, the other one will be Adelaide, South Australia. South Australia has been very, very proactive and provided very good policy and criteria for regional sponsorship and nomination. So South Australia is definitely one place to actually go. Now, in regards to regional Victoria or regional New South Wales, look, I don't really like those areas, because the resources have been largely been pulled into the CBD, for example, Melbourne and Sydney. So regional Victoria and regional New South Wales is probably not as good as picking Adelaide or Perth. You see what I mean? And the other one will be Canberra. Now, Canberra, obviously, counting population-wise, still counted as regional, but it's the business and commercial activity there is much less in compared to Adelaide and Perth. And the other one I will strongly recommend is perhaps looking into not Brisbane, but 40-50 minutes away from Brisbane, Gold Coast. Now, Gold Coast is counted as regional as well, and you enjoy the suburban life there, and the business and the opportunity there is quite large in effect in compared to the other regional areas. The other one will be Sunshine Coast, which is the growing city, about 1.5 hours drive north away from Brisbane. And I think in Queensland has a very big opportunity and advantage on this one, because as a new developed state, it gives a favor that you're living in a regional, you get that benefit, but you are not too far away from the city of Brisbane if you want a city life there too. But compared to New South Wales and Victoria, if you pick really regional places in Victoria and New South Wales, you don't get the same thing that you get in Queensland, for example, Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast. So why should you pick regional? Well, obviously you get extra points for your skill migration. So should you really pick regional to study or migrate or work and live in 2023? I think the answer is still a very good and wise choice, but it really depends on what sort of courses or work that you actually conduct. Anyway, should you have more question or query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below. See you next video. Goodbye.